Hey, Shalom. All right, let me get straight into this lesson. But this actually came up into my feed. Dr. Umar, he threw, you know what I'm saying? But I wanted to go into this interview he did, right? I was like, damn, that was kind of heavy. He brought out some really good points. But, overlook his madness with that black narrative and that African American and Pan African, all this complete madness, right? And go to show you that you Jakes, man, you don't see the obvious, man. You jump all over the place besides acknowledging the truth. But anyway, let me get into this. This is a heavy, heavy interview, right? I'm gonna play about 7 minutes of it. I'm gonna get into this lesson. But I want you to peep at this Jake right here. Most of these Jakes are feminine, Jake soft, Jake Christian. So when you're a Christian, you're already weak, right? That's why these Jakes, a lot of these women run over them. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy, man. But this is the product of Christianity. But I like the point that Thru is gonna make with him. You know what I'm saying?
Lies. To be honest, my personal perspective is I don't necessarily care what he looks like. You must
Check that out. That's rebuttal, you so-called black Christians, right? Right. We're gonna call you, you black in the mind. So you Israelites, this is the rebuttal that you've been trained to reply with, because the so-called white man taught you this. And the biggest, let me make this statement too. The biggest supporter of so-called white supremacy is the so-called black church. Check this out. Back it up. Check this Jake out.
as now specifically in the context of African Americans, we see pictures of artists depicting Jesus as like a white guy with blue eyes. To be honest, my personal perspective is I don't necessarily care what he looks like.
You must care if you care about the truth. Don't call yourself a man of cloth if you don't care about truth. Because if we care about truth, we care about the color of Jesus. Which way you want this?
No. Well, so okay, I do think the art matters, right? Because
the truth matters.
Well, so but will we ever really get down to it though? Because
absolutely. We know what Jesus looked like. Every statue, every coin, every painting of Jesus.
All right, Salaki, let me say this too. And his name ain't Jesus, all right? His name is Yahweh, and he was a so-called black man. And Dr. Thru is telling the truth right on this, right? But this is the image, to the right that is inseared, ingrained, subconsciously implanted in our people's mind right to this very day. So we've been set up to break this stronghold on your mind, man. All right, I'm gonna play some more of this, then I'm gonna get into this lesson.
Christ was blue, black, purple until the rise of racism and the Europeans started going around the world systematically stealing all of the original statues and images of Christ and replacing them with Caucasians. Leonardo da Vinci painted the Last Supper in 1482. Was that a coincidence? Because Columbus set sail in 1492. And what was the greatest weapon used in order to enslave African people? It was the white Jesus. The white Jesus was Columbus' greatest weapon.
And that's facts, Salakia, for keep interjecting, yeah, that's in his name, not Christ, his name, not Jesus, none of that madness, and we're not Africans. All right, we Hebrew Israelites, right? But I'm gonna play some more of this.
It's still the greatest weapon. I knew a brother in Jamaica. I met him in Florida. I was speaking at the Marcus Garvey Technical School of Jamaica's fundraiser. He said, Dr. Umar, we got a white church. We have a black church with a white Jesus in Jamaica. This is one of the blackest islands. This is the land of the Honorable Marcus Garvey, greatest Pan-Africanist of all time. He said he went out and got a black Jesus painted, much better than the cracker Christ. His pastor told him, we will never take this down.
You hear that?
This is how Jesus looked. Blue, black, purple people content on having Leonardo da Vinci's uncle masquerading as their savior. If your deity looks like your enemy, if you are content to let your deity look like your enemy, you deserve to be a slave. You deserve to be a slave. Look.
Man, that's heavy what he said. He ain't lying. But I'm going to play some more of this because he's going to make another real heavy point dealing with the subconscious mind. And that's why a lot of you Jakes out there, that's why you women don't respect you. It all go back to the curses, but we breaking down the mental, the psychological reason, to put all this together so you can get it. So watch this, man.
Jesus was from the tribe of Judah.
Right.
Judah was the bluest, blackest of the 12. They were known for their nappy purple skin. His mother hid him in Kemet, Egypt. Named Egypt by the Greeks, it means land of the blacks. There's no way you're going to hide a white, blonde-haired, blue-eyed child in a country of blue, black, purple African people. Let's keep on going. The title Christ, which comes from an African word, karas.
Let me skip it up a little bit. He's
was
going
not
off.
kissed of the sun. In those days, consciousness was called Lord of the perfect black. Blackness was divinity. That's why every religious teacher was black and nappy. Nobody looked like white with blonde hair and blue eyes.
Salakia, let me find this one part. Give me 1 second. 1 second, Salakia. Let me play this part. But it's a man, like I said, it's a lot of meat in it in this whole thing, brother. So I'm gonna show you at the end of this so you can see where to go watch the whole thing. 1 second.
I know where you think I'm going, but I'm not going there.
This is the problem with religion.
But
when it comes to the
whether Jesus was black or Jesus was white, there is truth. But hear me out. I know where you think I'm going, but I'm not going there.
This is the problem with religion.
But
when it comes to the truth of who we are as black people, y'all want to dismiss it. We're going to dismiss the truth of Jesus being black.
No.
And we will be comfortable with the white man on the wall. Then don't call yourself a man of God. Because if the picture of Jesus, the foundation of your religion, if it's okay for that to be a lie, how many more lies will we talk?
So let me start here. I think, right? So hear me out.
The truth matters.
The truth matters, right?
And if the truth matters, why don't we depict Jesus in his original color?
We should. And I don't disagree there. And I do think that like pictures of Jesus being white, especially with that, most likely not being the truth, being something that like has had a negative effect on specifically the black community.
And it ain't just the Christians. The Muslims do the same thing. We know for a fact Muhammad ibn Abdullah was blue, black, purple.
Well, no, and look.
And from an education, I'm going to take it to psychology and education.
Check this out.
Let me tell you why white Jesus is so dangerous in the black church.
Okay.
Your brain is a symbol generating and associating organism. Every memory in your mind is stored as a symbol. Every one. If you take your beautiful African son or daughter to church and they see a white image of God Savior every Sunday, we're praying to God is white, blonde hair, blue eyes. Don't you know by the time that kid is 5 or 6 years old, he's going to associate whiteness with divinity. And it makes it easy.
Did you hear that? I'm gonna play this last part. I'm gonna get into this lesson. That's profound what he said. That's nothing but the truth, right?
See, for that child to be docile and weak in the face of police brutality, docile and weak in the face of gentrification, docile and weak in the face of second-class citizenship. And do you know why? If God is white, all white people must in some way be godly. And so if white people control Africa, and if white people control the courts, and if white people control the medical system, and if white people are in control of this, that, and every system on earth, could this possibly be the decree of the Most High? Because if God is white, doesn't it make sense that white people are in control of us? And if God is white, by contraindication, the blackness is automatically the devil. My point is, most black children are taught self-hate at a black church in a black community. So I often...
You hear that? Let me get into this lesson. That's what I want you to really hear. But the whole thing was good. Like I said, if you want to watch the whole thing, brothers and sisters, right is right here. You know what I'm saying? It's called, this guy handled is the prince of so-called Pan-Africanism, right, which is bugged out. 1 second. Let me get into this lesson. All right, let me get into this quick, lesson. But yeah, that was heavy, man. A lot of meat in that interview. You know what I'm saying? And like, again, we not African, we not black, right? He was using these terms, but our skin is various shades of brown. And you got Jakes that's red, different colors, all right, in the flesh. And you got Israelites that look like heathens. So I just want to clarify that as well. But that was heavy, profound, very, very heavy video, you know what I'm saying? Going into this self-hatred, it goes back into the curses, right? That's why a lot of you Jake men, a lot of you women undermine you, right? Because if you've been taught to self-hatred, right, the women, right, gonna be able to recognize that and undermine you as well. They're gonna look, they ain't gonna listen to you, man. Right? That's how they subconscious mind has been programmed, because as they see as perfection, righteous, the good guy, right? The smart guy is the so-called white man because of the religious programming, right? And it starts in, when you're very little. That's why we've been taught nothing but lies, and we have to break these lies down with truth. And image is everything. They even say that in the world. And a lot of you jakes that say image, it don't matter what color he was. It's everything, because why would they put that image up in your mind to mentally program you to look at the so-called white man as your God? That's why a lot of you jakes can't cuss out the so-called white man, because in secret, you still got the image implanted in your mind, and that's your God. That's who you see as being righteous, the smartest, right? The most pious, right? But we've been set free from that, right? That mental captivity. All right. So that image is deeply embedded in the subconscious mind of our people to this very day. All right. Sometimes it says called the unconscious mind. Your subconscious mind contains all of the stored information of everything you have ever experienced. You hear this? And it's a very complex operation with the mind, right? It says the subconscious mind is a fascinating and complex aspect of our mental processes that influences our thoughts, emotions, and behavior. Right, going back into the image, the spirit been really having me focus in on that image. Right, let's go here. So that's why you have to be reborn. It starts in your mind. Right, the mind is the gateway to the spirit. Right, it says renewing your mind, and I'm kind of going over some stuff I went over before, but kind of just to churn it back up in your mind, churn it, Salakia. It says on Romans 12:2, it says, renewing your mind, changing the way you think to create a better life for yourself, and life that honors Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. And they go to show you that you've been privy to this knowledge because the Most High revealed his name to you, right? Most High people know the Most High as God, right? You know him as Yahweh. Let me get through this because I'm running out of time. And a lot of you jakes are very naive. You don't know. You act like you just was born yesterday. You don't use no wisdom that you've been learning in this life to apply it, right? And able to use that wisdom to help you spiritually. You're naive to everything. You think the people that enslaved you, gave you so-called white Jesus, brainwashed you, indoctrinated you, gonna ever tell you the truth? It's not gonna happen, right? They're not gonna never tell you the truth. That's why most of our people docile. They brainwashed and they don't know what's going on. They lost sheep. It says naive of a person or action showing a lack of experience, a lack of wisdom, and a lack of judgment, right? So that's in the nutshell, our people, right? Even the older people, they don't know what's going on, right? They consider the truth as hate speech. They can consider the truth as being radical, right? Being a T word. And this self-hatred, right? It started, like I say, the biggest so-called supporter of white supremacy is the Black Christian church, so-called Black Christian church, right? And you're not black people. That's another thing, a stronghold that's on most of our people's mind. It's self-hate, right? So that's why our women, in a lot of cases, don't respect what we say. They have to undermine us, right? Because this indoctrination is deep. A lot of our Jake women really hate themselves. Which you think if they hate themselves, they're gonna hate the man they're dealing with. It is what it is. It's psychology 101. It says self-hate. It's a hatred directed towards oneself rather than towards others. So you don't have no hatred to what the so-called white man done to you, right? He lied to you, brainwashed you, indoctrinated. You don't hate that. But you hate what we saying. They go to show you that you people out of your mind. Right? And the people that always talk about hate, ain't that hypocritical, you devils? You say we talking hate speech, and that's all you did is show hate. And hate is a necessary emotion. It's in the Bible. Right, undermine. I'm not gonna be able to get to everything, but you can look up undermine for yourself, right? But we're getting undermined, right? Most of the time by your own women, right, of our nation, right? It's just the way it is. But this don't apply to all you sisters, because you got some sisters waking up that's getting their stuff together. But hopefully this lesson was eye-opening and edifying. Call Hala Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rachat Kodash. Shalom.